Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. A top cryptocurrency analyst says that XRP is going to $28 this market cycle. That is his prediction. And I'll tell you right now, he's expecting that to happen this calendar year. And it doesn't mean you're going to have to wait that long to start to see some additional fireworks take off. It's already been neat that we've seen XRP breach that $1 level, which it's probably fair to say it's a reasonable psychological level too. That's kind of a milestone. We haven't had that price since February or March of 2018. It's been over 3 years, so it's amazing. So, kind of begs the question: when does it make time to sell XRP? And I'm going to share with you his opinion as well as my opinion. Because I'll tell you, my opinion, it's not based entirely on price. There are other things to consider. I've also got some opinions from a couple chart analysts about what to expect in the short term for XRP price action. And even though we've seen a dip over the last 24 hours for XRP, to me it's no big deal. Like we just saw a massive rally. XRP is still damn near $1 as I record this. And the macro bull trend is still in place. And there's a couple analysts that think perhaps more likely than not at this point, in fact very soon, you're going to see a continuation to the upside. So it's just an exciting time to be in crypto. I mean, I've been in this since November 2017. I've had a blast the whole time, but the vast majority of the time was a bear market, so the price of XRP and crypto was trending down. Vast majority of the time I've been involved, and then the rest of it mostly trading sideways. So still had fun, don't get me wrong, because I got the big picture, so it wasn't emotionally keeping me down. But I will happily admit this is a lot more fun, right? Seeing all the pricing popping off, more people are getting involved, understanding that, because look, it's just another phase of validation that, at least for me personally, that what I'm doing is right. And a lot of it's not like I'm some sort of wizard. I'm not trying to pretend that. I'm not bragging either. It's more so just having the conviction to follow through with what I believe, because it's not as complex as a lot of people make it out to be. It's market cycles, the market moving in tandem, things along those lines. Now, I do want to be clear that I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and so you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who makes YouTube videos as a fun hobby about XRP and Ripple and crypto, but that's all that it is. There's definitely nothing special about me. All right, so as I record this, XRP is at 94.8 cents. Bitcoin is a little over $57,000. Market cap, $1.93 trillion. Bitcoin dominance, slight uptick. It's at 55.03%, but I'm telling you, by the time this market cycle is over, I think it's highly likely you'll see something in line with what we saw last market cycle when Bitcoin dominance was down to about 35%, which isn't a sign that there's something wrong with Bitcoin or bad with Bitcoin or Bitcoin's no good. I hold Bitcoin, I'm long Bitcoin. It's probably just going to mean that the altcoins are outpacing it, and there's a lot of them out there. That's what it was last market cycle. And it's really, it's not some sort of bad, it's not a naughty thing to say that. Like Bitcoin maximalists, some of them get offended when you start talking along these lines. I'm like, bruh, do you even crypto? That is what happened last market cycle. Humans are behaving the same. It is not unreasonable to speculate that's going to happen. Now, within the last 24 hours, XRP got as low as 88 cents and as high as $1.07. And so, chart analyst DIY Investing in his most recent video, he said that his prediction for XRP this market cycle is $28, and he's expecting that to happen this year. And so he was talking about this 4-year market cycle theory, which historically is more or less how things have unfolded. From if you just consider the market cycle high that we had towards the tail end of 2017. Look, 4 years prior, that's when you had the previous high. And so the theory goes, and we'll see if this lines up. And then that would be down to like the day of the week, even necessarily the month. It's just kind of like pretty close to that. That's the theory anyway. That would mean that you'd be seeing XRP start to pop off, if this theory holds, before 2021 is off. So you'd be talking about the cycle high, his prediction, $28. And the range that he's expecting, even if it doesn't hit 28, would be somewhere between $20 to $30. And there are lots of analysts that I follow who are well respected within the crypto community here, especially in the XRP community, who think that that's probably about spot on. And others disagree, like Blockchain Backer. He's a bit more conservative, which is fine. He thinks more like $10 to $13 is reasonable for this market cycle, which still I'd be thrilled about. But as far as when to sell, it's a tough thing to answer. even with me having been in the space since November 2017, I'll admit something to you here, and I am not ashamed of this. Like, I don't have a firm plan. Like, I respect, for instance, like the blockchain backer, he has some firm price targets in mind. Totally respectable what he's doing, and he's got his plan for when he's going to sell his XRP. And going from memory here, I think he said that he wants to have 65% of his XRP sold when XRP's at or somewhere around $10. I think that's correct. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I think that's what he stated. And then the additional 35% that he's not selling, either he's going to hold and ride into the next bear market, or if higher price targets are offered, then he would sell much, much higher. And he even cited at one point, the unlikely scenario of XRP this market cycle going to $55. Yeah, he'd unload. Now, for me, I'm actually going to take a little bit of a different approach. I will start selling some XRP roughly in $4 to $5 range, I think. But it wouldn't be a ton at that level because I think it's going to go much higher personally. And so for me, though, I'm going to do things a little bit different than blockchain backer, even though I love his plan. It's perfect for him, and a lot of other people are thinking along those lines. For me, it's more about what's the chart cycle look like, because I don't know if blockchain backer's right and we're going to see a XRP high from $10 to $13. I don't know if Credible Crypto and Leb Crypto are correct, saying and DIY investing that it's going to go for somewhere between $20 to $30, or more specifically, if DIY investing is correct and it's going to hit $28. I don't know what's going to happen, but whatever it looks like, XRP is going to move. In some sort of correlated fashion, I think historically it has anyway, with the rest of the market, with Bitcoin leading the charge. And so I'm going to be looking at visually how the chart structure looks. And like, I am not a chart guy. I'm not going to pretend to be. And so even if this sounds like an unsophisticated approach, yeah, I guess it is. And that's fine. I don't think I need to overcomplicate things. I'm counting on humans behaving the same as they did last market cycle. So if I can start to see that we're looking like we're reaching the tippy top of the market cycle, then regardless of what the price is, like it's not going to matter to me. If that means that XRP only gets to $7 or $8, if it really looks to me, if I'm convinced that this is the height of the market cycle, that's when I'll do a huge bulk of my XRP selling. Now, I'm hoping it goes much higher. I'm not saying it will only go to $7 or $8. So many analysts think that it's going to go much, much higher. So don't take that the wrong way here. But if it looks to me like we're nowhere near the top of the market cycle and we're sitting at $20 XRP, well, then that might mean that I have a whole lot more to sell moving forward. So to me, there's this unknown in terms of how high the market cycle is going to be for crypto in general. And given that unknown, I don't know how, for me, I can just set these price cycles which may or may not even get hit this market cycle. Because what if I put my targets above where we're even going to hit, and then I don't take into account when this whole market cycle, not just XRP, but the whole thing's going to top. And so I am taking a little bit of a different approach. And so but you got to decide what's right for you. I'm not telling you to do this or not do this. I'm not offering financial advice, but I think it's fun to talk about, and I'm happy to share my opinion. I would love to hear your guys' plans below. But in terms of actual price targets, I don't know. And in terms of timeline, I also don't know that, because even though we have a general idea of what the chart structure is probably going to look like, it's probably going to look like what the last chart structure looked like when Bitcoin went to almost $20,000. Its then market top late 2017, and January 4th, 2018, XRP hit its market top. The XRP and Bitcoin charts for that cycle, they look the same. They functionally look the same. You could exchange one for the other, and take the labels off it. Nobody would know which is which. And so I'm anticipating that type of structure again. And so for me, even if it takes, whether it takes 3 months or 6 months or 9 months or a year or more, I'm just going to go with the flow. And then depending on what's happening in the moment, that's what's going to influence me. And DIY investing, he actually shared a sentiment along those lines in this video. And I'd been thinking about this in some time. I just don't know that I'd really sufficiently ever fleshed out that concept. I've kind of talked about it over the last couple of years, but I don't feel like I really ever honed into it, certainly not recently, so I want to kind of flesh out that concept more. But here is a tweet from DIY Investing. And you wrote, "Honestly, price is obsolete to me because I'm investing only XRP and the rest of the cryptos through cyclical time frames. My entire trading plan is structured around time. Whatever price it is, when my trading plan tells me to sell, is what I'll get it for it, and I will be happy. And so that's more in line with actually how I've been looking at it, because what if the blockchain bagger's right and Bitcoin goes to $80,000? Well, that'll impact how high XRP goes. What if other analysts are correct and Bitcoin goes to $300,000? That would impact how high XRP goes this market cycle. And so I'm sitting there, and I do firmly believe that. So I'm sitting there like, well, how the hell do I just say this is my exit plan at these price points? Because that might mean I have to hold it another 4 or 5 years, which, maybe I won't sell all of my XRP, but still, I would like to be able to sell most of it, assuming we get to some of these higher levels. I would like to be able to, because at that point, I would believe that a bubble is formed, and I don't want to stay in a bubble too long. I believe that it will inflate and it will pop. Same with Bitcoin, when the rest of the crypto asset class, and bubbles form in every asset class, whether it's real estate or stocks. I don't like, people view it as such a dirty term, like the bubble. Like, I don't. You're talking about markets, entering price discovery and figuring things out through supply and demand dynamics. I don't think there's something inherently evil about that, and cryptocurrencies are functionally useful, and this type of speculation will ultimately result in the flushing out of cryptocurrencies that don't do anything. And to this point, people don't sufficiently parse out the differences between cryptocurrencies, but that won't always be the case. And this is just part of that process, just going through this, speculating. People are voting with their dollars here. And so, to me, that's why I'm saying here, I think that XRP will be worth substantially more than it is today during the course of this market cycle. I won't be surprised if you see the peak in 2021. I won't be surprised if the peak is $10 or $20 or $30, but I don't know what it will be. And I could be wrong about all of this. But and that's why, investing in crypto is risky. It's the most volatile, risky asset class on the planet. But I would not be able to sleep at night if I didn't have exposure to it, because I happen to have a high level of conviction. I sleep very easily at night because the volatility, it doesn't scare me. It scares the typical person, and I get that. But the typical retail speculators don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm expecting if humans to behave like this. If humans weren't behaving like this, that would be weird to me. Because why would there not be a frenzy around this technology that's in its nascency? Of course there is. This is how humans behave in these types of situations. When the internet was in its nascency, humans had the same DNA back then, and they made the same stupid buying and selling decisions, FOMOing into stocks, panic selling stocks. Okay, well, you do you. That's not how I'm going to behave. I'm just counting on humans doing that. Now, here's a tweet from Leb Crypto, and this is from, I've got a brand new one from him, but this was from in the morning yesterday, April 7th. And oh, by the way, I didn't say what time it is yet. For me, just for frame of reference, I like to mention this sometimes, especially when I'm talking about price. For me, I am in the Midwest in the United States. It is 12:45 a.m. on, what is this, the 8th? I think it's the 8th now, right? Yeah, Thursday, April 8th here. So I record at weird times, apparently. But anyway, so he put this tweet out on the 7th in the morning, 7:28 a.m. And so here's what he wrote, and then I'm going to give you the update, because he put out an update just like a little over a half hour ago, and it's positive. XRP, lots of confluence of support around the golden pocket area. I expect price to have a strong initial bounce off those levels, 77 to 80 cents. And then you got this one. This is more recent. So this was 41 minutes ago. This is at 12:05 a.m. Central Standard Time, my time. And so Leb Crypto wrote the following. Seems like XRP is ready for its next leg up. Formed a nice base with bullish consolidation. Breakout to $1.20 levels should be commencing soon. Invalidation, fall back below 90 cents. So again, as I record this, XRP is at 94.5 cents. If we see XRP break below 90 cents, then this expectation is invalidated, and he will no longer believe this is going to happen. If we don't dip below 90 cents, though, he thinks it's party time. We're going, and more likely than not, going to see levels up to break out above $1.20, which is an important resistance level. All sorts of analysts, including Incredible Crypto, was talking about that level just the other day. I've been highlighting that. And Leb Crypto, for those of you that missed it, he called this. I asked him before XRP broke out to $1, and that morning he was like, well, if whatever price we were talking about at the time, and I am pulling from memory, so I don't remember all the specifics, but he said, well, look, if so-and-so price level holds with over the next 2 to 4 hours, then it's more likely than not you are going to see today or tomorrow XRP break above $1. And then hours later, he wrote, okay, well, the price level hold, so that confirmed it for him. He said, yeah, XRP very likely today or tomorrow going to break out above that $1 range, and he was right, and it did. And he was also one of the individuals that was right about the price action that was happening towards the middle of November when XRP went from 20-something cents to almost 80 cents back then. So that was before all the SEC versus Ripple fallout. He was right about that also. So let's see what happens here. If XRP holds above 90 cents, will we break out above $1.20? I hope so. No way to know for sure. But even if it doesn't happen now, it's still, to me, inevitable. And I'm just going to continue to be Mr. Patient. It's not going to matter over the long haul here. Here's a tweet from Credible Crypto from the afternoon. He wrote, "This makes the most sense to me. That being said, a bunch of alts look primed as well, so either we break down and invalidate this, or I think we may be in for one of those rare times when both Bitcoin and alts actually pump together." And this is a Bitcoin USD chart right here. So it'd be interesting, yeah. Alts and Bitcoin can pump together, but he's certainly right that you don't usually see that, especially now if it's a massive pump, but... we'll see if it goes the upside. I would not mind seeing that. Like, I'll be happy either way, to be honest. I'm just going with the flow at this point. My bags are sufficiently packed. If given opportunities, I'll continue to purchase lower. But if it goes off from here, I'm going to be a happy man. I'm going to be just fine. And then here was analyst Rakesh Upadhyay, who writes for Cointelegraph, stating also that if the support level holds, he thinks XRP is going to go back up. What are the levels he was talking about here? I think it was... yeah, here you go. So I think he's saying here if like 84 cents is hold, and so to this point it has been. If the buyers can sustain the rebound, he writes, it will suggest accumulation at lower levels and to keep the prospects of a break above $1.11 alive. And so to this point, that's correct. So that's fairly in line with what Love Crypto is talking about. Not down to the penny, obviously, but in terms of kind of roughly the levels to watch for. And that's what I keep seeing. Even DIY Investing, he was talking about support zones. And there are multiple support zones, but yeah, so there's that range that they were talking about there. If it breaks below that, then there's potential for it to find support somewhere in the 70-something cent range. But hopefully we stay above that 90-cent level and Lib Crypto is correct, and more likely than not, we just see a continuation upwards, breaking $1.20. But either way, thank you guys for hanging out with me on this ride, because this is a blast watching all of this happen here. And even better times yet to come. This is incredible seeing this price action. There's so many people over the last few years, just haters, Bitcoin maximals, people that don't get it, people that are short-sighted, saying XRP's, it's never going to go, or XRP's going to go to zero. And to me, that never made sense because the market just moves in tandem. I think there's sufficient data to prove that is the case. I think you can actually literally prove a factual case of that. And so for me, I'm just going to let all those people think those things, emotionally buy and sell. I will not behave as such. And I'm going to let this thing rocket. Either I'm right and it will eventually go parabolic and then I'll sell along the way as it goes up, or I'm wrong and the haters are right and it goes to zero, in which case I'll ride this bitch into the ground. Whatever happens, that's my adult choice. Maybe I'll make out well, maybe I won't. I'm optimistic. All right, I'll wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.